Irish culture has made tremendous contributions to society here in America, and many of the most prominent business, arts, and political figures of the past century have claimed Irish heritage. Geographically, it stands on the edge of things, a wallflower at the gathering of West European nations. And despite its popularity with the tourist, it failed to attract any large body of permanent immigrants. Ireland has never been extremely powerful, neither militarily nor industrially. The landscape can be harsh, making travel difficult and farming volatile. Irish culture has been shaped by the strife and uncertainty caused by frequent famines and crop failures. In Ireland, like here in America, wealth has traditionally been concentrated along the coasts, specifically in the east, in the city of Dublin and around. Religion has always played an important part in Irish history. Catholicism as well as Protestantism is very popular in Ireland, as well as family. Family is extremely important. A patriarchal culture over there has been present for many, many generations. Over 30 million Americans trace their roots back to Ireland, including another 5 to 6 million people who separately identify themselves as Scotch-Irish, whose ancestors were Ulster Scots who immigrated from Ireland to the United States. A review of Irish culture using the Hofstede bond variables shows us that the Irish score high in individualism, masculinity, and indulgence, with lower scores for power distance, uncertainty avoidance, and pragmatism. Using the Hofstede bond variables, we can see that Irish culture is much like our own. Like here in America, but to a lesser extent, individualism is celebrated in Ireland, with the understanding that people be self-reliant and hired based on merit. Everyone who lives in Ireland, though, is entitled to health care and a free college education through the public system, a key difference between their culture and ours. Masculinity is even more celebrated in Ireland than it is in America, showing a desire for competition. Throughout history, Ireland's fertile soils and reserves of copper and gold have attracted some of Europe's most vigorous colonizing societies, including the Vikings, but it has mainly been influenced by its neighbor England, with whom it has had a very complicated relationship. While Irish is the first official language of the Republic of Ireland, English is also an official language and it is spoken by the majority most of the time. Of the 1.66 million people found to be able to speak Irish in the 2006 census, 60% of these people reported that they never used Irish or used it less often than weekly. It's like it is in America. Communication amongst the Irish is informal, direct, and participative. The Irish accent is generally broken down into three categories. East Coast or Irish English is spoken in Dublin and can vary widely from sounding faintly American to being completely unrecognizable to outsiders. Southwestern Irish accents show the most influence from Gaelic, while Northern Irish dialects sound much like a Scottish accent. It is still a predominantly male-driven society, with many professions being linked to gender, like here in America. Many of these gender biases continue to be established and proliferated by major institutions of government, education, and religion, critics contend. Family is very important to the Irish, who are an extremely traditional culture. They only recently allowed divorce to be legalized in 1995. The Irish value highly their culture, teaching children from a young age Irish traditions, customs, and frequently the language. Lineage in Ireland is traced through the father. Children are given their father's last name. The Great Famine shaped much of Irish history, culture, and worldview. Ultimately, it made the Irish a deeply resilient, faithful, and loyal culture. Ireland always lacked the coal resources necessary for industrialization, and it is not along any major trade routes. Its only economic resource in the past was agriculture. So while the Irish were producing enough food to feed themselves, a detrimental relationship with the English meant millions died of starvation. This skepticism and morose worldview remains in the Irish from this time, and can be seen in Irish literature and the arts. Irish culture is deeply rooted in American history, and their story mirrors closely the story of America. Considered to be unwanted from the beginning, the Irish have made themselves one of the most successful and influential cultural groups throughout the United States' long history. Of American life, from our system of governments that was actually a Greek set of ideals adapted by the Irish, to immense contributions in literature as well as business.